Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavitvaram Satgurum Brahmavitvaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. 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 37th shloka. Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayopetaha yogaachalitamanasah aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim krishna gacchati kachinno bhaya vibhrashtah chinnabhramiva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudho brahmanah pathi etanme samshayam krishna Sheshatah twadanyas samshayasyasya chettanah yupapadyate. Shri Bhagavan uvacha parthanaiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kalyana krut kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. We are good with this, right? Ayatihi shraddhayopetaha yoga chalita manasah. Arjuna is asking a question to Bhagwan Krishna. He says, Bhagwan, I have a doubt. There is somebody who has gained this knowledge. He gained this knowledge, but for some reason, he was unable to get abidance in this knowledge. He gained it, but because of several other distractions, his mind went away from the truth. But he is filled with lot of faith. He knows precisely what should be goal of life, how one should do Shravanam, how one should do Mananam. All of you can sit in between also, rather than sitting on the sides. There is lot of space here. Feel free to use all of this. This person has lot of faith, Shraddhaya upetaha, but at the same time he is ayatihi. Ayati means he is not putting forth sufficient effort. He has heard the truth, he has understood the truth, but to get abidance in the truth, he is not working hard enough. And before that, before he gets abidance, if his body drops, Arjuna's question is, where does such a person go? Where does such a person, whose formal title is Yoga Bhrashta, means he attained yoga, but he became Bhrashta from yoga. Bhrashta means his mind walked away from this understanding. Such a person, where does he go after dropping his body? Aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Without attaining this samsiddhi, without attaining self-abidance, what is his destination? Kachit na ubhaya vibhrashtah chinnabhramiva nashyati. Arjuna says, I think this person is deprived from both results. Ubhaya vibhrashta means he is deprived from the result of karma, he is deprived from the result of jnana. Why is he deprived from the result of karma? Because when he started doing Vedanta Shravanam, he was told, don't set this world as your goal. Don't go after better and better conducive situations. They are just the means, they are not the end. Your goal should be Brahma. So he was not doing any specific rituals to go to Swarga, etc. So if he has not done the ritual, Arjuna thinks he is deprived of that result, which would have come through that particular karma. So he is not going to get Swarga as the result because he has not done the karma, or he has dropped the karma that is needed to go to Swarga. But at the same time, he set Brahman as the goal, did not get abidance in the goal. So he says he is deprived from result of karma, and is he also deprived from result of knowledge. Just like a cloud which is separated from its main cloud, and it did not connect to the next big cloud. The wind will come and blow it away into fragments. Like that, does this jiva also get blown away? Apratishto mahabaho vimodaha brahmanah pati. The one who is not having any firm support to hold on to, neither karma nor jnanam, and he has gotten deluded from the path of Brahma. He did not get this abidance yet, and he started walking away. For whatever reason, stepped away from this path of Brahma. What happens to that person? Etan me samshayam Krishna. O Bhagwan Krishna, this is my samshaya. Samshaya is a nice word. The etymology of samshaya is samyak sherate jnanam iti samshayam. Sherate means that which puts something to sleep. That which puts knowledge to sleep is called as doubt. The moment a doubt comes, person cannot wholeheartedly put his next step. This example we have seen several times. When you go to the airport and they make an announcement, there is a gate change, your flight is now 13B. Now you don't know whether they said 30B or 13B. The moment a doubt comes, neither can you go to 13B nor can you go to 30B. So first you have to remove that doubt, then only you can step forward. Now Arjuna's doubt is, if I wholeheartedly pursue this truth and I drop all this karma and everything, whatever you are telling me, will I also end up in a situation where if I don't get that, so my jnana phalam is gone, karma phalam is also gone. This is a doubt a person will have when he thinks about Shreya and Preya also. Kathopanishad class, that's what we are discussing, right? When Yamacharya says, set Shreya as your goal. But the sadhaka feels, I know this should be my goal. Shraddhayo petaha. But he has a doubt. I don't know whether in this life I'll be able to reach there or not. So why not have world also and have Brahman also as a backup? That is Arjuna's doubt here. Etan me samshayam Krishna. He is saying, I cannot wholeheartedly pursue the truth. Because this thing is bothering me. What if I don't get it? And what is in my hand, that also will go away. Etan me samshayam Krishna chetum arhasya sheshataha. Please remove this doubt for good. Asheshata means remove it in such a way that I can actually wholeheartedly pursue the truth. Tvadanyaha samshayasya asya chetta na hyupapadyate. Other than you, Bhagwan, I see nobody who can solve this question of mine. You ask any jiva, at the most, jiva can do anumana. Anumana means we can infer. Oh, this child is showing certain qualities of a musician. That means he must have gathered some previous samskaras of music. We can only infer. We cannot conclusively say this child was a musician before. But for Bhagwan it is not like that. He knows the gati of all jivas where a jiva has gone, where he has come. He has clear knowledge about the journey of a jiva. So Arjuna says, don't send me to anybody. Don't say, ask your guru, ask this person, ask that person. My understanding is, other than you, nobody can answer my question. This is also how a bhakta feels with his Ishtadevata. Whatever problems might be there in front, his prayer to Bhagwan is, Bhagwan, I know other than you, nobody can solve it. With that bhavana, when he asks, Bhagwan answers. He Partha, na eva iha na amutra. This person who is living a spiritual life, know for sure, he doesn't go through vinasha. He doesn't have to face any kind of destinations which is lower than the previous one, either here or hereafter. Na eva iha na amutra. Meaning somebody who lives a spiritual life and they start getting joy in sadhana, start getting joy in Bhagavad Bhakti, their life will be much more happier than an indulgent person. The joy coming from devotion, joy coming through sadhana is called as Sattvic Sukham. And joy coming through the interaction of sense organs with sense object is called as Rajasika Sukham. So Bhagwan says Sattvic Sukham is any time greater than Rajasic Sukham. Although Sattvic Sukham in the beginning looks like poison and culminates in nectar. Rajasic Sukham in the beginning looks like nectar but ends up as poison. So this person will not have a very dry life, a very insipid life while living here. Although sometimes jokingly we say, that before studying Vedanta we were happier. After studying Vedanta, because we know what we should not do and yet we are doing it, we become double sad. That is just a humorous side of it. We should look at our own life. Where we were before we started spiritual journey, study of Vedanta, and how we are even transactionally after studying Vedanta, after cultivating love for God. That same situation, this person says, I look at it differently now. The duration taken to get agitated should keep getting more and more. Duration should become more and more. Means if a person would get agitated at the drop of a hat, now he is able to think about that situation, and only if it is too bothering, something disturbs him after he has thoroughly thought about it. And he is able to brush it aside very quickly. That is the power of sadhana. World being the same, his drishti has changed. Srishti being the same, his drishti has changed. So Bhagwan says, don't have this doubt that somebody who walks on the path of devotion, he will go through any kind of difficulty. Means his mind will be agitated. He says it will never be the case. He'll be happier than any other samsari. He might be imperfect. Imperfect bhakta is better than perfect samsari. Imperfect bhakta, imperfect sadhaka experiences greater joy than somebody who is totally into samsara. Vinasha tasya vidyate. Hereafter also, his life forms are never lower than his current life form. And don't think he will go to some inferior yoni. Bhagwan himself is going to give this conviction. Where he will go next, he will conclusively say. Where he will come after that birth also he will conclusively say. So neither is he going to get destroyed here, nor is he going to face destruction hereafter. This is where we had seen that verse, Dine dine tu Vedanta, Shravanat Bhakti Sanyutat. The one who listens to Vedanta every single day with lot of bhakti, lot of faith. What is the result that he gets? Guru Shushrushraya Labdhat Kruchra Shiti Phalam Labhet. The one who listens with devotion to Guru, he gets a result of all the austerities that are done by other yogis. Like Kruchra Chandrayana Vrata is that Vrata where you keep increasing your food by 1/15 of a portion. Whatever normal amount you eat, of that divide it into, like if somebody eats one roti, divide it into 15 parts. So on Amavasya day, fasting, and as the moon grows, 1/15th part he increases. That vratam is considered as very austere vratam, because that hunger is not fully satiated, neither you are fully fasting. But quantity has to be 1/15th of regular portion. Because somebody can read in between the lines, multiply that portion and then take 1/15th. Whatever you eat on one day, of that 1/15th he eats. Like that there are so many vratam and they give infallible results. So this Smriti mantra says, the one who does Shravanam sincerely, that person gets result of those vratam. In this, our buddhi cannot do tarka. Intellect cannot decide how come this is the result. Scriptures are saying so. We have to have a lot of faith. This Madhusudan Saraswati ji, he quotes in his commentary, don't think Shravanam doesn't have phalam. One Shravanam phalam is Ajnanam will go away. But even if somebody does Shravanam sincerely and tries to cultivate values, that also has phalam equivalent to doing all these vratams. Nahi kalyanakrit kaschite durgatim tata gacchati. The one who is doing or one who is trying to live a spiritual life, that person will never go to durgati. Neither here nor hereafter. Now Bhagwan, I understood over here how he doesn't have durgati. Because his mind is much more stronger than samsari. His mind is not pulled by sense objects. That is why it is stronger than any other indulgent person. But what about hereafter? Where does he go? Bhagavan says there are two types of yoga prashtas. First category of yoga prashta is who stepped away from knowledge because of desires. He had knowledge, but because some desire was so overpowering, it made him step away from knowledge. That is first category. Second category of yoga prashta is who have great vairagya. Dispassion is there, but body dropped before abidance came. Their obstacle was not desire, their obstacle was lifespan of body was short. Before they could get abidance, body dropped. That was their pratibandha. Obstacle in Sanskrit is called as pratibandha. What was the pratibandha of first yoga prashta? Desire. Vairagya was less. Second type of yoga prashta, vairagya is more. Great vairagya is there. But his pratibandha was, lifespan was not sufficient to see the end result in that particular sharira. So Bhagavan says both of them have different journeys. The first one is mentioned in 41st verse. That yoga prashta who had pratibandha of kamana. Because of desire, he was unable to attain that abidance. He stepped away from the truth because of desire. What happens to him? Prapya punyakrutam lokan ushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam shrimatam gehe योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते. The one who is trying to live a spiritual life, cultivate all values, does Shravanam, gains knowledge. In particular, this verse is referring to the one who has taken sannyasa. One who has formally taken sannyasa, and for some reason he was unable to get self-abidance. And let us say he stepped away from the path of truth, or the final goal he could not see. Got caught up with something else, some other desire kind of took him away from the nishtha part of it, abidance part of it. That person will not go here and there. Bhagavan says he will go to punyakrutan lokan prapya. Means he will go to the same loka that all other yogis who do so much of upasana and karma, where they go, this person also goes to the same loka. Somebody who wants to go to Swarga Loka has to do so much of specific rituals. Nachiketa's second boon was that. What are the rituals to go to Swarga Loka? Hiranyagarbha Upasana was pointed out, specific rituals were pointed out. Where that person goes, this sannyasi also goes to that same loka. Or this yoga brashta who had less vairagya. Because of some desire, he stepped away from yoga, became yoga bhrashta. That person also goes to the same loka. Why did he end up in that loka? Because there were some bhoga samskaras still remaining. In Swarga Loka, there is only exhaustion of bhoga. There is no gaining of new merits. Only encashment is there. You cannot earn anything new. So having gone there, having exhausted all the bhoga vasanas, he comes back. Now when he comes back, where does he come? Does he become some tree, some other creature? Bhagavan says no. When he comes back, he is born in a specific family. What is the type of that family? Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe. Shuchinam means those who are very pious people, dharmic people. At the same time, they are very well-to-do. Shrimatam. Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brashtaha Abhijayate. That Yoga Brashta is born in that family. Means here as though Bhagavan is telling which jiva has to be born in which family. It is not random. Based on the environment that the jiva needs to continue his spiritual journey, he is sent to a particular family. So this jiva had samskara of bhoga. That is why first he went to Swarga Loka. Then, having lived there for long years, that is the second quarter, Ushitva Shashwati Samaha. Ushitva means having stayed there for a long period of time, having exhausted the bhoga vasanas, that jiva is born again. Now where is he born? He is born in a family of pious people, those who are very well-to-do. In that family, he will continue his journey. Means Arjuna says, Bhagavan Krishna is telling Arjuna, look at the glory of being spiritual. Even though he stepped away from the truth, his journey is not destroyed. Because of those vasanas, he will go exhaust those vasanas, again come back and continue his journey. By the way, for a spiritual seeker, going to Swarga is not a great thing. Somebody who has greater vairagya, for that person going to Swarga is a bondage. He says, I want to listen to 4 Vedanta classes a day. And in Swarga, they say there are 4 performances per day. Early morning, 6:30 is Rambha. 10:30 is Urvashi. All those apsara, they are there in Swarga Loka. And here is a jiva who has vairagya. His mind is searching for the truth. If you say whether you like it or not, doesn't matter, you have to sit and watch. Imagine the type of bondage he'll feel. If somebody likes simple food, in Swarga Loka it is elaborate chappan bhog every day. You see, that will become his bondage. That jiva will never go there. So this jiva who had bhoga samskara, Bhagavan says that jiva will be first sent to Swarga Loka to exhaust those bhoga samskara. Then he will return back in a family where still bhoga is available. Because Srimatam Gehe is said. But he will have those previous good samskaras along with him. This is where we see great examples like Janak Maharaj. They were all Raja Rishis, born in a very noble family, but well-to-do family. But we will see that point. If you consider them as avatar, then you should not apply these points. Which family they were born, those don't apply to an avatar. But just if you want to think about it in that way, we need some examples. Another example is Lord Buddha. He was born as Prince Siddhartha in the midst of luxury, but having that samskara of Adhyatma. Again, don't look at them as avatara for time being. Avatara is true, that we will see later. So that is where the first yoga brashta goes. Who was that yoga brashta? What was his pratibandha? Desire. Pratibandha means obstacle. What stops us from attaining the truth, that is called as pratibandha. So he went there, exhausted his karmas, exhausted his bhoga, then came down to Manushya Loka, was born in a family which is very pious but well-to-do. Now what about the second one? Who was the second yoga brashta? Had greater vairagya, lot of dispassion. What was his pratibandha? Body dropped before he got abidance. Bhagavan says this person doesn't have to go to Swarga. Where is he born? You see the next verse. Athava yoginameva kule bhavati dhimatam etadhi durlabhataram loke janma yadidrusham athava yoginameva. Athava, if it is the second yoga bhrashta who was having great vairagya, but before he got abidance, his body dropped. Where does he go? Yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam. That person is born in a very pious spiritual family, but not having lot of resources. Not having lot of resources, but at the same time they are dhimatam. Parents are dhimatam, means those who are doing shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam themselves. Dhimatam doesn't mean somebody who is intellectual. Dhimatam here means that family is either a family of jnanis or it is a family of sadhakas. And because that jiva doesn't seek any bhoga, doesn't seek any enjoyment, he doesn't feel the lack of resources. In fact, Bhagavan sends him there so that those bhogas don't become an obstacle in his journey. The first person had lot of enjoyment around him, so those enjoyments could have become an obstacle for his spiritual quest. But in the second option, his environment is such, surrounding is such, that he can wholeheartedly seek the truth. Shankaracharya writes the meaning of the word yoginam. He says, Daridranam kule bhavati. Daridranam kule is not something which is becoming an impediment for him. In fact, that is turning out to be a blessing for him, because he says if desire comes, we have two options: either to get more resources and fulfill that desire, or to use viveka and remove that desire. Two options are there. Sometimes if you go to the market, let us say, and you feel like eating something, and that day you didn't carry your wallet. Now what do? I don't have the resources. You just remove that desire and you come back. But let us say you are carrying the wallet and desire comes. There is greater chance you will fulfill that desire. Like that, this sadhaka who is born in that family, he doesn't feel the need to fulfill that desire, because he is getting what he wants. What he wants is being provided to him. What is that? Dhimatam yoginam kule bhavati. He finds the right lineage to study and the right conducive atmosphere around him to study. Both things are needed. How does a child's mind get shaped? Majority of shaping happens through lineage. Means what parents do, those things influence the child. But can you say that is the only thing which influences the child? There is other environment also that he lives in. There is school, there is the literature that he reads, there are the friends that he keeps. All of them also contribute. For this particular sadhaka, both are conducive. His lineage is conducive, means the samskaras he is getting in his family is conducive. At the same time, the samskara that he receives from people around is also conducive. That is God's grace. That is how He sends this jiva in this world. Compared to the first one and second one, which one do you think is more difficult to get? Second one? Good. We are in the same thought process as Bhagwan Krishna. See what Bhagwan says? Etaddi durlabhataram loke janma yadidrusham. To be born in a pious family which is spiritual is more difficult than being born in a pious family which is rich. See the second line, huh? Etaddi durlabhataram loke janma yadidrusham means to be born in a family of great sadhakas, even without too many resources, is difficult than being born in a family which is pious but with lot of resources. Now how do you understand this line? Why does Bhagwan say the second one is more difficult than the first? One commentator, he says, if somebody is dhimatam and yogi, for that person to enter grahastha ashrama, he says that itself is a wonder. Somebody who is dhimatam and yogi, for that person to be in grahastha ashrama, that means Bhagwan has kept them there for some special purpose. Some jiva is going to come which needs that kind of family. That is why he says this janma is very, very difficult. You must have heard the story of Samartha Ramdas ji. In very young age, he was about to get married. And when they get married in Maharashtra, they say, Shubha Mangala Savadhan. He heard the word Savadhan. He thought, I have to be alert now. And he ran from the wedding. ran, went all the way until he met his guru. And never to come back. Means if somebody is dhimatam and yogi, for that person to enter grahastha ashrama, he says is very rare. If at all they do, then there is a special purpose. The example for that is the lineage of Bhagwan Vedvyasji. Vedvyasji's father is Parashar Rishi. He was a great Virakta Purusha. He was roaming around in Himalayas, so much of Vairagya. But suddenly he gets this thought and gets attracted to Matsyagandha. What was her name? Satyavati. Matsyagandha. There is one famous natak in Marathi where there is a song in this portion. He says, Deva ghar se nyata kunala, mi nishkanchana nirdhana sadhaka, vairagyacha parama upasaka. He says, I am this mendicant, I am this wandering person, sadhaka. I don't know why Bhagwan is bringing this thought in me. Then Bhagwan responds, I am bringing this thought because Bhagwan Vedvyasji is to be born through you. And then Bhagwan Vedvyasji's son is Shukdevji Maharaj. Somebody like Bhagwan Vedvyasji is needed for Shukdevji Maharaj to come over here. So the main point is the one who is sadhaka and one who is in grahastha ashrama. In that family, that jiva will be sent who is needing samskara of sadhana. And that kind of a birth, Bhagwan says, is very, very rare. Etaddi durlabhataram loke janma yadidrusham. Now he says, what happens to that jiva once he is born in that family of sadhakas? Not very well-to-do family, but having lot of adhyatma samskara. What happens to that jiva? Tatra tam buddhi sanyogam labhate paurvadehikam yatate chatato bhuyah samsiddhau kuru nandhana. Tatra tam buddhi sanyogam labhate paurvadehikam yatate chatato bhuyah samsiddhau kuru nandana. Tatra, in that family when he is born, he doesn't waste his time. Bhagwan protects his adhyatma samskaras, whatever he has gained before he became yoga brashta. Look at Bhagwan's karuna. Huh? He is protecting whatever sadhana this jiva has done before he became yoga brashta and making it available to him when he is born in that family. Tatratam buddhi sanyogam. Buddhi sanyogam means the memory of the knowledge, memory of the samskara that he has gained in past birth. And he did not go through many births. Huh? Right after dropping the body, he came into this family. Unlike the previous person who went to Swarga and came. This person directly came. And when he came in this family, he gets the buddhi sanyoga. Whatever knowledge he has gained about Atma, how his varanam should be Shreya, how his goal of life should be Shreya, that knowledge becomes available to him. Generally, a jiva will start with first three purusharthas. Kama purushartha, artha purushartha, dharma purushartha, then come to moksha purushartha. But where does this person start? Starts with moksha purushartha. And what is the main factor here? God's grace. Because Bhagwan protected those samskaras. Otherwise this jiva has changed sharira now. It's a different body. But in spite of body being different, the impressions of past samskaras, adhyatma samskaras, they are protected. They say there are two ways of filing things. One is you keep the oldest one below and keep filing the newer ones on top. So when you see the thing, first thing will come is what is today's status, and you say, okay, how did I come here? You go backwards. Another way to file it is put the new ones first, then start bringing older and older ones on top. So when you start reading that file, you will get the history first, then you will get the current status. The way Bhagwan files our file is like the first one. All old samskaras, they are below. And all the new samskaras, they are at the top. So this jiva must have done so many karmas in the past lives. What Bhagwan says here is, what is made available to him is only adhyatma samskaras. Not all those previous samskaras which are there, they are as though hidden. If he is not careful, if he goes and triggers those samskaras, they will become alive. But as long as they are in cold storage, those samskaras can be there. What we need is the active samskaras. That active samskara is adhyatma samskara. The top portion of our file is what we have done immediately. Tatratam buddhi sanyogam labhate paurvadehikam. What was done in the immediate past birth, that adhyatma samskara is made available to him. When he became yoga bhrashta, he was ayatihi, not putting forth sufficient effort. Now he is not ayatihi. Yatate chatato bhuyaha. He is working very hard, putting forth lot of effort. He says, my only goal is self-abidance. Only goal is moksha, not anything else. Doesn't get stuck with anything. The best example for this is Raja Bharata. When he got attached to that deer, went into deer form, again became Jada Bharata. People call him Jada Bharata, but he is great jnani. He is walking so carefully, or he is behaving in such a way that everybody thinks he is a fool. But in his mind, he is so alert, he says, I don't want to get caught up again. Been there, done that, I don't want to do it again. That is when he meets Raja Rahugana, who asks him to carry the palanquin. And he is so alert that he is not even wanting to step on an ant. If 4 people are carrying the palanquin, 1 person is walking slow. So everybody is slowed down. Then that king, feels very angry and he scolds him, says many things. Then Raja Bharata gives him the teaching. That is called as Raja Bharata Rahugana Samvada in Srimad Bhagavatam. Very beautiful Vedantic portion he teaches. But that is this portion of Yatate Chatato Bhuyaha. He is working very hard, not taking moksha lightly. Full-time pursuit, not part-time pursuit. Samsiddhau Kurunandana. In attaining this abidance, he is putting forth lot of effort. Now, I had mentioned, I'll give last 5 minutes for questions. Okay, we'll just see one more point. I had mentioned there is something called as Karaka Yoni. Karaka Yoni means they are divine beings manifest on this world for a specific purpose. They are also called as Jata Siddha. Jata Siddha. They are not born like jivas. You can call them as avatar only. They will not get caught up in this world. They will come in this world for a specific reason, accomplish that task and go back. And when you look at their work, we are so amazed that we feel a human being to do that kind of work is almost impossible. Swami Vivekananda ji, 40 years, 39 years. The amount of impact that their work leaves is something mind-boggling. Several centuries, several years, that impact will be felt. Puja Gurudev's work, all great Mahatmas who have done work over here, They are called as Karaka Yoni. There is a nice example given in Vedas of a Homa bird. There is a bird called as Homa. It is said that bird lives very high in the sky. And when it lays an egg, that bird, when it lays an egg, that egg falls down. But it is living so high that it falls for several days. And by the time it has reached somewhere in between, it hatches. And the tiny bird comes out of it, and it sees that it is falling down, it will just crash on the earth. So it develops its wings and again flies back. This example is given of Homa bird. They are for Jatasiddhas. They are born into this world, but before samsara can catch them, they have already done their work and gone back. That is Jatasiddha. All great Mahatmas, they come here for that purpose. We have seen the story of Hastamalakacharya ji. When Shankaracharya ji meets him for the first time, he says, "You are giving me so much joy. Tell me, who are you?" Simple question he asked, "Who are you? Where have you come from?" And Hastamalakacharya ji gives, "Sanityopalabdhi swarupoham atma." He says, "I am that Atma which is ever present, that is who I am." They are all Jata Siddhas, they come here for a specific purpose. We don't have to put them in the category of Yoga Bhrashta. That is the point here. Yoga Bhrashta is journey of a general Jiva. See, even if you look at it technically, right? Somebody can be Jivan Mukta in this earth. In Manushya Yoni, somebody can become Jivan Mukta. Right? Jivan Mukta means what? They gained knowledge while living in this body. They became free while living in this body. How long will the Sharira of that Jivan Mukta live? Until his Prarabdha continues. Until the Prarabdha is there, until that Jivan Mukta's Sharira will continue. Imagine if somebody got liberation in Brahmaloka. If somebody got Jivan Mukti in Brahmaloka, how long will that Jivan Mukta's Sharira continue? Until the end of creation. Until the end of creation, because Brahmaloka is there until the end of creation. So those great Mahatmas who are there can be sent here to accomplish certain things. Jivan Muktas from Brahmaloka can manifest as Manushyas, not because of karma, but to accomplish certain specific things. Brahmaji is creator, he can send whomever he wants. For Swami Vivekananda ji, they say, he himself has said it in one place, that he was a Saptarishi. That bhajan is very popular, Saptarishi Bhavanadinda Banda Vivekananda. He says he is not born because of karma, he is a manifestation of one Saptarishi Samsha, who has come here for specific task. That category is called as Jata Siddha. There was one question here, we can ask. Can you speak in the mic? Come forward and speak in the mic, that way we can hear. This one.
How does the Atma remember what all karma they have done in the previous birth? Is this through Karana Sharira or is anything else?
Right. Atma doesn't remember anything. Atma is that consciousness. Right? Does Atma undergo transmigration? We say no. Atma is the substratum in which all jivas undergo transmigration. Atma doesn't undergo any transmigration. When it is said Jiva remembers, it is mainly spoken in terms of vasanas. those latent vasanas, adhyatma vasanas, they are triggered, and that jiva remembers or becomes adhyatmika. In that way, that is the remembrance part. Atma doesn't remember.
You had mentioned that Raja Bharat was a yogi, but then he got born as a deer. But he was yoga bhrashta. Isn't deer a lower yogi? So,
It depends upon what was the desire. There the reason was because he contemplated upon deer so single-pointedly. That is why he got the yoni of that deer. In that way. Every example will have a specific point they want to illustrate. And we as jivas cannot intellectualize where a jiva goes. So Bhagwan's guidance here is wholehearted surrender can take place to spiritual path. There is no need to worry about any kind of fall. Okay. Good. Anything else? Next verse is also similar. We'll just chant that verse. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hyavashopi saha जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव ह्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते. Now what happens to this person who is born in that family of yoga bhrashta? One who was yoga bhrashta, but he is born in this family with adhyatma samskara. Purvabhyasena tena eva. Because of his previous adhyatma samskara, he is helplessly pulled towards spirituality. Purvabhyasena, the karta there is his previous samskaras. Hriyate, here hriyate means kidnapped. He is as though taken over by his spiritual pursuit. Avashah api saha. Avashah means helplessly drawn towards it. Just like our other vasanas helplessly draw us towards sense objects, Bhagavan is saying spiritual vasanas will helplessly draw us to spirituality. Hriyate hyavachopi saha jijñāsu api yogasya. That person who is a jijñāsu, one who is walking on the spiritual path, shabda brahmati vartate. He doesn't have to follow the injunctions of karma kanda of Vedas. Shabda Brahma here refers to karma kanda of Vedas, where a lot of do's and don'ts are there. That portion he has crossed over. More we will see when we meet next. Details will be told to you via email. Okay. Next week what is going to happen, we'll come to know later. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.